Well, one thing that I ran up against with a client, was it last week, was she asked if she was going to know who was going to be there on her day of, right?
Yeah.
She asked if we were a big company and all we do is call various contractors in certain areas and then toss somebody to that site
Yeah.
in the day of. And she was like, am I going to know who's going to be there for me? And I said, absolutely, because it's the same talented team that shows up at every single wedding.
Yeah.
So that's all part of that, getting to know us. Is we're going to be with you. We're here with you day one till the moment that things are delivered and you approve, and we send you either downloads or a motion book or whatever, and we're through that whole process, which can sometimes be a couple of years.
Yeah.
But you're always dealing with the same people. That and editing, of course, which we do all in-house.
Yeah. Which is the in-house editing is probably one of the most beneficial things about working with us in particular, because not only can changes be made quickly if need be, but also we were the ones that were there on the day of as well, so we have a little bit more insight into what moments you probably think are more special than others, right. Or just remembering small little details, like if there was a memorial that was put into the bouquet or something like that.
Right, right.
There's little things that if you just hand that off to another editing, service or company, they don't know what's in that footage. Mm-hmm. They're just going to put together the pretty stuff, and then that's it. And you lose all of that individual essence from the day. So when we edit here, it's great that I remember exactly what the groom was so excited about, and we can work that into the film. Or, someone that the bride missed.
And I mean, even as simple as it sounds silly, but I know what the father of the groom looks like.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head. I don't have to go to the ceremony and be like, all right, he's coming in next. Okay, I got to remember that person now. You saw him. Mm-hmm. So it's having familiarity with individuals is huge.
There's just so much information that just gets lost if you're not also editing the films.
If you're using that outside contracted
so much
editor.
Information that just gets lost.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly can be done well, I'm sure. I'm sure it's done well a lot.
Yeah, there's certain films that it would be fine for.
But you're kind of just taking a gamble, I think. I think that's the risk, is that with an in-house editor who knows the context of the wedding, that's huge because they can tell that story in context. But if you're giving it to a third-party editor, they might nail it, but they might not. I mean, it's totally, just up to how good that editor is at interpreting that footage.
Yeah.
Well, then you guys get to film with intent.
Yeah.
Right? So you see part of the story happening, and you know exactly where you want that to appear in the short or the feature film.
Yeah, so for example, sometimes there's the couples, their suites have maybe similar architecture, and we film them in similar spots, and in the edit I want to do some type of cool transition to meld those pieces together, and so we film for that.
Right.
Whereas, if I filmed it and then handed it off to someone who didn't know I got those shots and didn't know that was my intention, that wouldn't make it into the edit.
Right.
But yeah, we do that a lot, where we see something the day of, we plan for it, we film it, and then we can put it together. And that's a huge benefit. And it makes for some really cool moments in some of our films.
Well, like the one that we filmed downtown in Richmond, where the venue had multi-tier frontage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, and we had the groom above the bride. They couldn't see each other.
Yeah.
But we could see them both, and we captured them kind of looking up and down at each other with a drone.
Yeah.
And if we weren't able to plan that and shoot it with intent, it would have never happened.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But it was a brilliant piece for it. It showed off the venue. Mm-hmm. It had that mystique that they're there but they can't see each other.
Yeah.
And that was really lovely. The photographer was all over it too.
Yeah.
just so excited to collaborate that deeply with a videographer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because they have to be, like, the couple has to be in on that. Because that's kind of, it's a really inconvenient ask if they weren't, aware that it was going to be happening. Hey, can we get all of the wedding party out in single file lines across the balconies at the same time? Like,
And it would also be difficult if we hadn't met them multiple times before.
yeah, like if there's no rapport, how are you gonna?
Yeah, because we also did an engagement video a year before with that couple.
Right.
We also, there were a lot of other things that we did with them, and site visits, multiple site visits and things like that.
Yeah.
So, they felt very comfortable with us. We asked them to do those things, to make those special moments.
Right. Yeah. We knew it was within their realm of comfort.
And in just the grand scale, that film is just jam packed with like emotional content. It's
Yeah.
really
yeah.
it's a really well told story as far as stories go.
Yeah.
Like it's really, there's a lot of like just moments and a lot of written moments. It's really, really good. And that's why.
Yeah.
Really deep, very, very rich story.
Yeah.
When you see those people even in town, you're excited to see them and they're excited to see you.
Yeah.
So it's about developing that, now we have long-term relationships with a whole bunch of our couples because they spent time with us before.
Yeah.
Now we get to watch them as a couple afterwards, which is just really golden.